Yeah, surprise, I changed. Hey guys, what's up? It's Liv. How are all of you? I hope you're doing great and really excited because I have a new video for you today. Today we're going to be doing some ballet hairstyles, and these are hairstyles that I would wear if I was going to a ballet class, an audition, and yeah, that's really it. So let's keep the intro short. I'm going to be showing you guys some of the supplies that we're going to be using, and you can follow along. So this is all of the supplies that you're going to be using. First, you're going to need a brush and a comb. The comb is optional, but I like to use it to smooth out my hair. Then what you're going to be needing is some bobby pins. They can be big or small, kind of depending on what you like. Then you're also going to need a hairnet, which is completely optional, but I like to use it. Then you're going to need some hairpins. They can be any size, any color, whatever you like. Then you're going to need some hair elastics. I like to use multiple, and for some of the hairstyles, you'll need multiple. Then, completely optional, I like to use a small mirror to look at my hair. Then, also optional is some hairspray, but it's nice to have, and some people like to use water. Then I just have some decorations, which really is not mandatory at all. And that's all that you'll be needing. Before we start doing our hair, let's just brush our hair out to make sure that there's no knots in it. So for the first hairstyle, as you can see, I already have my hair in a middle part, and you can use the tail of the comb to do this. Next, I'm going to go on the right side of my head, put the tail of the comb in the middle of my head and my part, and put it down on the right side of my head and take off a section from the front. Next, I'm going to take one of my hair elastics and tie off that section from the front. It looks a little bit funny, but you'll see why I do it later on. Then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side of my head and tie it off with another hair elastic. Now that we have our two sections in the front that will become our twists later on, I'm going to take the rest of my hair that's left over and put it into a ponytail. This ponytail should be kind of in the middle of your head in the back, not too high so that you can still see the twists once they go into the ponytail, but not too low so that when we do our cinnamon roll bun, the bottom of the bun won't hit our neck. Now I'm going to begin making our twists. So first I'm going to take the section on the right side of my head and take out the elastic. Then I'm going to comb it out to make sure that it's smooth. See the part on the side of your head? You're going to want to make sure that when you twist, your hair covers that. Once it's in a place where it will cover the part and there's still enough hair to twist, you're going to start twisting inwards to your head. This is what I do, and I find it hard to twist outwards because the hair goes in front of your face on the right side, which isn't very comfortable. Once you've twisted your hair far enough back, you're going to take the elastic that was originally sectioning it off in the first place and put the elastic around the twist and the original ponytail. Once you're done on the right side, you're going to do the exact same thing on the left side, remembering to try and cover that part and using the original elastic. Now that your twists are done, you're going to take the whole ponytail and separate it into two sections. As you can see, I just held up a large pin. This is what I'm going to use. First, I take the right section of my hair and start twisting it and wrapping it around. Then I take my large pin and go to the largest part of the hair and pin it in. Then I continue twisting and wrapping my hair in the same direction, and I take a smaller pin and do the same thing that I did with the large pin, just to pin my hair down. Then I continue twisting and wrapping and pinning. I'm going to use small pins for the rest of the time. Once I've put about 3 pins in one section, I'm going to take the other section and do the exact same thing. With the biggest section of hair, I'm going to take a big pin and pin that down. Then I'm going to continue twisting and wrapping and pinning with smaller pins. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of the bun. As you can see, the section that I'm pinning right now is almost getting to the end. When I finish pinning it, I'm going to leave a small tail out, which you'll see in a second. Then I'm going to take the other section and do the same thing while leaving a small tail out at the end. Next, I'm going to start using a bobby pin to pin in the last little tails. I'm going to do this on each section, and I like to use 1 or 2 bobby pins per section. Once you're done pinning those bobby pins in, you can take a look at your hair with your mirror. And don't worry if there's still small tails out, you can pin them in even more, and especially if you have a hairnet, the hairnet will catch them. Now you can see that I'm going to use my hairnet. So I spread it out and I just wrap it around my bun, making sure that it catches those small tails that were still left out. One last thing that's completely optional is the decoration. I'm using this beautiful decoration from bun flowers. So I tighten the drawstring and tuck them in under my bun. This is the final look. For this next hairstyle, I'm going to brush all my hair straight back and grab a small section from the front. For this hairstyle, I'm going to be doing a Dutch French braid. You're going to separate that section into 3 parts, A, B, and C, A being on the far right. To do a normal braid, you put section A over section B and section C over section A, and so on. To do a Dutch braid, you would put section A under section B and section C under section A, and so on. To do a French braid, you would take the small piece on the right, which is section A, and grab a piece of your hair that you haven't picked up yet and put it over section B, and do the same with section C. A Dutch French braid is the same thing, but instead of going over the middle piece, you go under the middle piece. This takes a little bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it, it's a piece of cake. Once I've gathered all of my hair into my Dutch French braid, I'm going to do a few stitches just down so I have a little bit of leeway to do my ponytail. Then I'm going to tie that off with an elastic. Next, I'm going to take another hair elastic and put the hair that did the extra few stitches down into a ponytail. Personally, I like to do my ponytails with 2 elastics. This is completely optional and you can use one if you like. I just like to do it because it makes my ponytail feel more secure. After I'm done putting my hair in the ponytail, I'm going to take out the elastic that I used to tie off the extra stitches and take them out. Next, I'm going to do a simple classical bun. So I first start off by twisting my hair and then wrapping it around into the shape of a bun. Next, I like to take a small pin and pin the end of the hair. Then I like to take my hairnet and wrap it around the whole bun. Don't worry if it's not a perfect shape because once you're done wrapping the hairnet, you'll take the pin out and you can shape your hair into a bun with the hairnet in. This is a great way to look at your hair with your mirror and make sure that it's the shape that you want. Then, once you're done shaping, you can use whatever type of pin that you like to start pinning your bun in. I use two different types of pins for my bun. I use two large pins, one on the top, one on the bottom, and then to pin the sides in, I use smaller hairpins. Once you're done pinning your bun in, you can take your mirror to make sure that it looks how you want it to. Then this is completely optional, but I'm going to put a beautiful decoration around it. This is the final look. For this next hairstyle, you're going to want to start with your hair in a left part. Firstly, usually people start by brushing their hair back into a ponytail, but they don't tie it off. Then, they start twisting their hair. This works for people with shorter hair, but for me, it doesn't work so well because my hair is so long. So I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to start off the same way by brushing my hair back into a ponytail, but not tying it off. Once my hair is nice and smooth and tight and how I want it, I'm going to take my index finger and my middle finger on my right hand and wrap it around the ponytail, kind of like an elastic. Once it's wrapped around, I'm going to start twisting my fingers around in a circular motion. This helps so it brings more of my hair into the twist at one time so I don't have so much to deal with later. As I'm twisting, I'm going to bring the hair that's coming around my head from the right side up so it covers the twisting. You might be wondering what we're going to do with that section of hair that's just hanging out. I like to twist it and tuck it under the rest of the hair that's already been twisted. This is a lot easier than pinning it in later on. This is the general shape that you want your French twist to be in. Lots of people have different preferences on what type of pins they like to use. Personally, I like to start off with two larger pins. I'm going to take one and pin the top half of my French twist. I'm going to work on the main part of my French twist and deal with the little bobble on top later. Then I'm going to take a second large pin and do the same thing and pin the bottom half of my French twist. Not too tight, but not too loose. Then I'm going to take a smaller hairpin and pin the very bottom just under that second large pin. This just helps secure it at the bottom for me. I'm going to use smaller pins for the rest of my pinning, but you can use whatever pins you like. I'm pinning the bobble on top now. It's kind of in a circular shape, just kind of like a classical bun. So really, there's no directions for this. You kind of just have to pin around the shape until it feels tight enough for you. So now my French twist is staying in without me holding it. But if I were to go to a ballet class, this hair would not stay in with that amount of pins. Usually less is better, but I need a couple more to make it feel more secure. So you can use as many pins as you like, but it really is true, less is better. So once I'm done pinning my bobble, I'm going to put a couple pins each in between the bobble and my first large pin, and then my two large pins in between there, and then my bottom large pin and the very, very bottom of my French twist. I'm going to use small pins in between all of those just to tighten up and secure my French twist. Once my French twist feels tight and secure enough, I like to take just a little bit of hairspray and spray down the sides. This just makes my hair feel cleaner and look cleaner. You definitely don't have to use this, and water works just as well as hairspray. There's no decoration for this French twist, but it looks pretty just by itself. This is the final look. Personally, I love this hairstyle, and I know that it can look really difficult at the beginning, and it is, but with a little bit of practice, it gets a lot easier.